Greetings, IB artists. This is Miss A, and today we'll be talking about the formal qualities in IB art. So what are the formal qualities? The formal qualities are basically the elements and principles of art and design. It is probably something that you've covered in primary, in the MYP curriculum, so in your middle years, and you are probably revisiting it again at this stage at IB level. The reason why the elements and principles of art are important, it is because they are the basics, they are the building blocks of art and design. There's a lot of videos about the elements and principles of art online, and there's a lot of analogies as to what they are. I think the analogy I'm going to use is basically the elements are really almost like the alphabet. It's the letters of the alphabet. So they're really very, very basic. Without them, art and design cannot exist. Then the principles are almost like the next level. It is how you combine these elements, these letters, and you form sentences. And beyond that, you can create a style of writing, you can create a mood. It is a way to express your ideas. It is a way to create atmosphere by using things like metaphors and similes, etc., etc. So that's in literature, and I think in art and design, the principles are a few pointers of how to combine the elements to create or compose art and design that has been tried and tested and has become recognized as a successful way to communicate ideas visually. This is a very broad description. So we will spend some time with each of the elements and the principles of art, and I think by the end of these videos you will have a better idea as to why they are so important. And they are important. They are important because it gives us a way to analyze art. You know that the IB curriculum is all about analysis, and I think with art, they are really a kind of a gateway or a first step into looking at art, analyzing art, understanding art, and making art. So the elements and principles of art are important, as we said, because we are analyzing the work that we're looking at, whether it's our own or the work of other people. And the reason that is important is because, for example, when you're studying artists in comparative study, sometimes it is not so clear as to what the artistic intentions of the artist are. And I have a whole video on artistic intentions, and please check that out. But let's get back to artistic intentions and studying them through the application or the analysis of the formal qualities of the art, which are the elements and principles of art. When you're looking at other artists' work, a lot of the times people say, well, you should evaluate their work, and you think, well, I have no idea what to write about this. So the elements and principles of art are always a good way to start looking at, discussing artwork. Once you start becoming aware of how they are using the elements and principles of art, it is almost like they're giving you little clues as to what their artistic intentions are, as to what the concepts behind the work are, as to what they're trying to express through their work to the audience. So this is a very, very important part of your study of art, because it gives you a way into their work, a way to approach their work. So if you start by looking at the elements and principles of art and how they are used and applied in the work of an artist, you have something to discuss straight off the bat. You have vocabulary that you can use, because basically once you start analyzing the work, you can start by describing the elements and principles of art. So how are they being used? How are they being expressed in the work? You know, they're using gestural lines, and as I said before, we will look at each element and each principle, and I'll give you lots of examples as to how these are applied and why they are applied in the way that they are. We will look at the concepts behind the work and how the artists are using the elements and principles of art in order to achieve communication to the audience of what their intentions are. So that's one thing. But in terms of becoming aware of the elements and principles of art and using them for your own work, you become aware of how you're putting these together, and you begin to learn as to how to use them in order to express your artistic intentions. So again, these are really, really important because it gives you a way to analyze other people's work, and it gives you the tools to compose your artwork in order to express the intentions that you have for your artwork. In order to cover all the elements and principles of art and design, I will be making 4 videos, so parts 1 to 4. I think a good introduction to the formal qualities of art would be the Minimalists' visual arts movement in the 1960s and 70s. As the name suggests, the artistic intentions of the minimalist artists was to strip their artwork to essentials only, which we now know are the elements and principles of art. To put the minimalists into context, which is always important because it often clarifies the artistic intentions and motives of the artists, they came after the abstract expressionists, who placed an emphasis on the subjective or personal point of view. The minimalists, however, wanted to create work that was objective, pared down to a geometric universal language of line, shape, color, value or tone, texture, form, and space. So let's look at how the minimalists used the formal qualities in their work. All these artists, all their work is a combination of many, many elements and principles of art. But I'm really kind of just pointing out the most basic ones, the ones that are the most obvious, or the 3 that really define the work. Starting with Morris, the 3 main elements that I would point out would be space, form, and line. In Judd Stack's, I would say that color, form, and space play the major role. Art labels are messy. Martin actually considered herself as an abstract expressionist, but because her work is so minimal visually, she's usually lumped in with the minimalists. I would say that line, color, and shape would be the main elements. Frank Stella, I think the 3 main elements would be color, shape, value, or tone. In Flavin's work, I think color, space, and line really are the top 3 elements in this work. I think in Kelly's work, I think shape, color, and line would be the 3 main ones. And then the snake, I think line, form, and texture would be the main elements. Thank you so much for watching. This is Miss A. All the best.